viewers. This is the global news on Top Accolade News. First, the headlines. Federal government wants to end reliance on borrowings. Okonjo Iweala says WTO will assist Nigeria. Pastor Taiwo Odukoya is dead. US may invade Niger over military coup. Details coming up shortly. Federal government wants to end reliance on borrowings. President Bola Tinubu has described Nigeria's over-reliance on borrowings to finance public spending, promising to bring an end to such borrowings. He made commitments during the inauguration of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms. Recall that Nigeria's total public debt rose sharply by 501% in 8 years to 72 trillion naira in March 2023, from 12 trillion naira in March 2015. A development driven by increased borrowing worsened the global pandemic and economic recessions in 2016 and 2022 respectively. Okonjo Iweala says WTO will assist Nigeria. The Director General of World Trade Organization WTO, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, has stated that the WTO is seeking ways to assist Nigerians of economic hardship. Okonjo-Iweala made this known while speaking with State House correspondents after meeting with President Bola Tinubu at the Presidential Villa, Abuja, on Tuesday. She said that in her capacity as the Director General of the World Trade Organization, she would, alongside her team, do her best to support Nigeria at this difficult time. She said the WTO would look at how to assist people in agriculture, textile, and pharmaceuticals. Okonjo Iweala, a former Minister of State for Health during the tenure of former President Goodluck Jonathan Mohamed Ali Pate, said that they went to see President Tinubu in respect of what could be done to support Nigeria. Senate may re-invite El-Rufai and 2 other nominees. The Senate has expressed the possibility of re-inviting the 3 ministerial nominees who have not been confirmed for rescreening. Senate spokesperson Yemi Adaramodu made the disclosure while speaking with newsmen on Tuesday. Adaramodu said once the Senate is satisfied with ongoing consideration, it will invite the affected ministerial nominees for rescreening, adding that a lot depends on what the security agencies and the person that nominated them say. Recall that the Senate had refused to confirm other Governor of Kaduna State Nasir El-Rufai, Delta State nominee Stella Okotete, and Taraba State nominee Abubakar Danladi over security reasons. Labour rejects Gbajabiamila on subsidy negotiations. On labour issues, the organized labour has rejected the involvement of the Chief of Staff to the President Femi Gbajabiamila in the federal government team that will negotiate the labour unions on subsidy removal palliatives. The national president of Nigeria Labour Congress, Joe Ajaero, made this known on Tuesday when the leadership of the labour unions visited the Senate. According to him, the Chief of Staff, as the head of the federal government's delegation, has been too busy to call for a meeting, adding that the President Bola Tinubu's Wage Award Committee has yet to sit almost 2 months after the fuel subsidy removal. Ajaero lamented the plight of Nigerians as a result of the removal of fuel subsidy, adding that the government was yet to put structures in place to ameliorate the effect in the country. Still on labour issues, The Benue State Council of the Nigerian Union of Pensioners has issued a threat to embark on strike if the state government fails to meet its demands, as the council gave the Benue State government till the 16th of this month to meet their demands or face protest from members. The union demanded that the state government pay all local government pensioners their 3 months pension arrears without delay. In a notification issued on Tuesday and signed by the state chairman Michael Vembe and secretary Sita Bo, the pensioners also demanded that the government release 900 million naira every month for the payment of local government pensioners in the state. You're watching the news on Top Accolade News. Please stay with us. Still to come, US may invade Niger over military coup. IPPIS officer admits collecting bribe for FCC job racketeering. In legal matters, Aruna Kulu, a former integrated payroll and personnel information system IPPIS desk officer at the Federal Character Commission FCC, who had been accused of collecting money from people to offer them jobs, has admitted collecting 75 million naira from the persons on the instruction of the Commission's chairman Farida Dankaka. Kolo said Dankaka instructed him to send the money to his personal bank account and pay to her in cash, which he did at several meetings in her house. This revelation came during the ongoing investigative hearing by the House of Representatives Ad Hoc Committee investigating federal ministries, departments, and agencies, parastatals and tertiary institutions on mismanagement of the IPPIS. On the allegations of job racketeering, he said the FCC chairman instructed him to liaise with one Mr. Shiru, who is a personal driver and personal assistant to a Taraba State Commissioner. Bauchi sacks management staff over alleged 3 million naira salary scam. The Bauchi State Civil Service Commission has terminated the appointment of the Chief Secretarial Assistant attached to the State Pension Board, Ibrahim Galba, over what is described as serious misconduct of salary and pension scam. This development was announced in a statement released by the Commission's Information Officer, Saleh Umar, in Bauchi on Tuesday. In a statement, the Commission alleged that Garba's action violated the Public Service Rule, which deals with issues of financial embezzlement. The Commission said a disciplinary committee of the State Pension Board found Garba guilty of swapping the account number of one Aldu Mohammed, now deceased, with his own, after which he received illegal pension for 55 months of 54,871 naira each, totaling over 3 million naira. Relations of fish seller killed in Kwara demand justice. The family members of a fish seller in Ilorin, Moshood Sulaiman, who was allegedly killed by a group of motorcycle operators, popularly called Okada riders, are crying out for justice over the unfortunate death of their kinsman. Sulaiman is reported to have been killed after a disagreement with a commercial motorcycle operator over fare last week, when the deceased boarded an Okada from Unity Road to Faith Road in Ilorin. Sources say trouble started when the deceased alighted from the Okada and a disagreement ensued between he and the rider over the fee meant to be paid. Eventually, Okada operators beat him severely, and he was rushed to get medical attention at the Ilorin General Hospital, but gave up the ghost there. Lagos arraigns waste collector caught stealing Unilag's internet cables. The waste collector, Agoro Yusuf, has been arraigned for allegedly cutting the internet cables at the University of Lagos with the intent to steal them. Yusuf was arraigned on Tuesday before Magistrate Patrick Nwaka, who was holding brief for Magistrate S.A. Salawu at a magistrate court in Yaba on 3 counts of stealing. The defendant, however, pleaded not guilty to the charges and was granted bail in the sum of 500,000 naira, with 2 charities in like sum. The case was adjourned till October 5, 2023 for mention. In business, fire on Tuesday destroyed a warehouse in 3-story building in Onitsha, Anambra State, according to a statement issued by the Director, Fire Chief of Anambra Fire Service, Mr. Martin Agbili, on Wednesday. Agbili said the service received a distress call on the fire outbreak at about 9:46 p.m. on Tuesday and immediately deployed its fire trucks and firefighters to the scene of the fire. He said the fire partly affected the goods at the ground floor, as many vacuum flags in the warehouse were destroyed. He noted that the cause of the fire is yet to be ascertained. U.S. returns over 40 stolen antiquities to Italy. Authorities in New York, United States of America, has returned to Italy several dozen stolen antiquities worth about $3.5 million, as the American megapole strives to shake off the reputation as a key global hub for illicit art trade. Investigators handed back 42 exceptional pieces, some 2,500 years old, to Italian officers during a ceremony in New York on Tuesday, according to a statement from Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg. Bragg said that America will continue to undo the damage wrought by decades of well-organized antiquities smuggling networks throughout Italy, adding that more than 200 antiquities have been repatriated to Italy since he took office in 2022. On its part, Vincenzo Molini's commander of the Italian government's so-called Carabinieri Heart Squad, hailed the great success of the investigation thanks to collaboration between the United States and Italy. Pastor Taiwo Odukoya is dead. On health matters, the founding pastor of Fountain of Life Church, Pastor Taiwo Odukoya, is dead, according to information released by the church. Although the cause of his death was not revealed, he was said to have died in the United States of America, USA, on Monday at the age of 67. The church and his family, while announcing his departure, appreciated God for the gift of a great leader. Reacting to his death, the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, sympathized with his family and congregation, describing the late pastor as a beacon of hope and faith. Also reacting, the Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, through his Chief Press Secretary Boyega Akosile, said that the pastor's death came as a shock, while noting that Odukoya's ministry has touched many lives within and outside the congregation. Man plunges into Lagos Lagoon. Rescuers from the Nigeria Police Force, Lagos State Emergency Management Agency LASEMA, and the State Waterway Authority LASWA have intensified search of a yet-to-be-identified man who jumped from Lekki-Ikoyi Link Bridge into the lagoon. According to the report from eyewitnesses, the man simply let himself down the massive body water in what looks like a suicide act on Tuesday. Meanwhile, Permanent Secretary PS LASEMA Dr. Oluwafemi Oke Osonyintolu told newsmen that the agency got the report and deployed officials of the Marine Rescue Unit of LASEMA to the scene, and the search of the man continues. Some of the witnesses blamed depression for the man's action. Moving on, federal government spent 144 billion to safeguard schools in 4 years. In education, the federal government says it is planning to spend 144 billion to safeguard schools in the 6 geopolitical zones of the country between 2023 and 2026. This was disclosed by the National Coordinator Safe Schools Initiative, Alima Ibrahim, during a press conference in Abuja on Tuesday, saying the budget followed a national plan on financing safe schools that was developed and launched in December 2022. Ibrahim noted that funding of the plan is through yearly budgetary provisions from federal, state, and Lagos councils, government interventionist agencies, foreign government and bilateral institutions, businesses and philanthropists, and donor partners. She said the plan includes building and integrating security resilient host communities, strengthen detention, deterrence and response capabilities of security agencies, and equipping schools, security, response and coordination. UI 400 level student appointed into Tax Reforms Committee. There have been a lot of discussions following President Bola Tinubu's appointment of a University of Ibadan 400 level student, Orire Agbaje, as member of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms. Who was inaugurated on Tuesday in Abuja alongside other members of the committee, is reported to be the president of the University of Ibadan Tax Club and holds other extracurricular posts. The committee, headed by Taiwo Oyedele, is expected to deliver a schedule of quick reforms that can be implemented within the first 30 days of its inauguration. From the foreign scene, in its efforts to return Niger Republic's democratic rule, the Economic Community of West African States has imposed heavier financial sanctions on the Niger junta and entities supporting them, including the government of Mali and Burkina Faso. This move came after a diplomatic mission to resolve the political impasse in that country by the African Union, ECOWAS, United Nations, and the United States hit a brick wall on Tuesday after the military junta refused to grant audience to the delegations. The military leaders also snubbed the acting U.S. Secretary of State Victoria Nuland, denying her access to the COUP leader, General Abdurrahman Tijani, announced that President Mohamed Bazoum, who was being held in the presidential palace in Niamey. On Tuesday, President Tinubu's spokesman, Ajuri Ngelale, told journalists in Abuja that more sanctions have been imposed on individuals and entities relating with the military junta. Organization drags Tinubu and others to ECOWAS court over Niger Republic. An international organization, Egalitarian Mission for Africa, EMA, has sued President Bola Tinubu of Nigeria at Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, Court of Justice, seeking an order of the court to stop the planned military action against the Republic of Niger. The group in the suit, instituted on its behalf by a Nigerian lawyer, Dr. Oluwakayode Ajulo, is asking the regional courts to invoke relevant ECOWAS treaties and international laws to stop the military invasion of Niger Republic, been spearheaded by the Nigerian government. Apart from the Egalitarian Mission for Africa, EMA, other plaintiffs in the matter are a former Director General of the Nigerian Institute of Internal Affairs, NIIA, Professor Bola Akintarinwa, and the Nigerian lawyer Hamza Nuhu Dantati. Although the three plaintiffs in the regional suit described the coup d'etat as most unfortunate, they, however, warned that Nigeria should not travel the dangerous road of military hostilities that may further escalate the crisis in Niger Republic. Other defendants in the case are ECOWAS, heads of ECOWAS Mission, President of ECOWAS Mission, and Federal Republic of Nigeria and Republic of Niger. US may invade Niger over military coup. The United States of America has indicated that it is giving serious consideration to attack Niger Republic if that country's military rulers do not return to constitutional order. The U.S. Acting Deputy Secretary Victoria Nuland made this known in a special briefing on Niger Republic via a teleconference on Tuesday. She said the United States is watching political events in Niger closely, along with a number of regional meetings going on in its allies and partners. Nuland said the United States may be pushed to get involved militarily, as she advised the military junta to hear the offers countries have made in order to resolve the crisis diplomatically and return to constitutional order. Adekunle Odunsi joined calls for NFF to pay Super Falcons unpaid bonuses. And from the sports decks, as per controversy over the non-payment of bonuses to national team players by the Nigerian Football Federation continues, a number of soccer stakeholders have joined calls for the federation to pay outstanding allowances owed members of the state and Super Falcons. The stakeholders include present and past Super Eagles players who supported Tuesday's solidarity statement by Global Player Union (FIF Pro), calling the NFF to offset the backlog. FIF Pro statement was shared on Instagram by Super Falcons forward Azizat Oshola. The latest to support FIF Pro calls and Napoli forward Victor Osimhen and former Everton striker Victor Anichebe in separate social media posts. NFF promises to pay Super Falcons unpaid bonuses. The Nigeria Football Federation (NFF) has given assurances that the Super Falcons will be paid their prize money from the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup and other monies that are owed. The NFF made this commitment in a statement issued on Tuesday. The Football House promised to pay the players once the World Cup money is paid to them by the Fédération Internationale de Football Association (FIFA). Recall that the Super Falcons are owed several bonuses from 2021, and there has been some argument on who will pay their World Cup prize money. The players are guaranteed $60,000 each for reaching the round of 16 of the World Cup, besides win bonus and allowances for qualifying matches yet to be paid by the NFF. And that's the global news for now. Before we go, let's take another look at the major stories. Federal government to end reliance on borrowings. Okonjo Iweala said WTO will assist Nigeria. Pastor Taiwo Odukoya is dead. US has threatened to invade Niger over military coup. And thanks for joining us. My name is Jonathan Poe. Do enjoy the rest of your day.